The Education Secretary Nadhim Zahawi has dismissed a call from the Children's Commissioner to ban smacking in England. Dame Rachel de Souza threw her support behind a law change after bans in Scotland and more recently Wales. But Mr Zahawi said it should be up to parents how they discipline their children and said his wife has, on occasion, smacked their daughter.
I just think the danger of this is that the state shouldn't be sort of nannying parents. It should be really parents who decide how to discipline their children. Obviously, I have a small child, and in the Zahawi household, we choose to obviously explain and communicate and discuss what good behaviour looks like. But sometimes, if mum feels she has to give me a light smack on the arm, that's up to the parents. It really is.
I'm joined by our reporter Callum Watkinson. How have campaigners reacted to this?
Yeah, well, a ban of the kind being advocated for by the Children's Commissioner would, as you said, bring England into line with Scotland and Wales. The Scottish Parliament introduced its ban in November 2020. Wales followed suit last month when it essentially removed a defence of reasonable punishment from its statute books. Now, that defence still exists here in England. The Children's Commissioner thinks that it shouldn't, and she says that this change in Wales is an opportunity, she says, to see how that law kind of beds in and perhaps move towards doing the same thing here.
Those bans were based on the latest research. What does that latest research say about the impact of smacking a child?
Yet there have been many studies done into the negative impacts of smacking. They can last a lifetime, basically. One recent one done by University College London found that adverse childhood events, smacking being one, parental alcoholism, for example, being another, can lead to much poorer mental health by the age of 14. Another study found that smacking makes children more aggressive. And another one found that it actually makes them less well-behaved. And a clinical psychologist that I spoke to this morning explained that that's because parents who smack often don't take the time to explain to the child why they're being smacked. So whilst they might imagine that they are teaching that child something by doing that, the child learns nothing from the experience apart from to be afraid of adults.
It can lead to children being quite frightened and lacking in confidence, because very often what we find is that when a child is smacked or hit, they may be told, no, don't do that. But if the correct vocabulary and language isn't used, it's very often they're not entirely sure what it is that they're being chastised for.
Now, a recent survey by the NSPCC found that more than 2/3 of parents think smacking is wrong, and 58% said they thought it was actually already illegal. So some might say no need for a ban. The chair of the Education Select Committee in the Commons, though, Robert Halfon, he said he thinks this is something that should be debated in Parliament. He said that currently smacking a dog or another adult is more illegal than smacking a child, and he thinks that's something that Parliament should look at.
Callum Watkinson, thank you very much. Thank you.